Luke 21 in Aramaic has a sign of the end times not listed in our Bibles.
This particular translation is currently out of print. Fortunately, I bought a copy while it was in print. This is what Luke 21 looks like in Aramaic.
And Yeshua stared at the rich men who were casting their offerings into the treasury. And he also saw a certain poor widow who cast in 2 small coins. And he said, "Truly, I say to you that this poor widow has cast in more than everyone. For all of them have cast into the house of offering of Elohim from what was in excess to them, but this one from her poverty. She has cast in all that she owned." And while some were speaking about the temple, that it was adorned with beautiful stones and with offerings, Yeshua said to them, "These things that you see, the days will come in which not one stone will be spared. There will not be one stone upon another that is not pulled down." And they were asking him and said, "Teacher, when will these things be? And what will be the sign that these things are near to happening?" But he said to them, "See to it that you are not deceived, for many will come in my name and will say that I am the Messiah and the time is near. But do not go and follow after them. And when you hear of wars and revolutions, do not have fear, for they are necessary first to happen, but the end has not yet arrived. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be severe earthquakes from place to place and famine and plagues. And there will be fears and terrors, and great signs will be seen from heaven, and the winters will be severe. I just wanted to pause for a moment there and look at the Peshitta version. That's the ancient Syriac version of the Bible. It was used from the early 5th century, and the Syrian churches still use this as their official Bible. The Syriac version of verses 10 and 11 say, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Great earthquakes shall be in various places, and there shall be famines and plagues and panics and terrors, and great signs from the sky shall appear, and there shall be great storms." So the Aramaic says the winters will be severe, and the Syriac says there will be great storms. Luke 21 in the same section in the King James Version says, "Then he said to them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven." There's no mention of storms or winters. Continuing on in the Aramaic translation, "But before these things they will lay hands upon you and persecute you, and they will deliver you to the assemblies and to the prisons, and they will bring you before kings and governors because of my name. But it will be to you for a testimony. But place it in your hearts that you should not try to learn how to answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, so that all your enemies will not be able to stand against it. And your parents and your brothers and your relatives and your friends will betray you, and they will kill some of you. Then you will be hated by all men because of my name, yet not a strand of hair from your head will perish." After the word perish, there's a footnote, and the footnote says Kuburis has an isolated bait here between the end of 21:18 and the beginning of 21:19. The Kuburis Codex is a 10th century Syrian manuscript which contains the complete New Testament. The word bait means house. So according to this Aramaic translation, where it says, "Yet not a strand of hair from your head will perish," it said something about a house. Continuing on, "And by your patience you will gain your souls. And when you see that an army has surrounded Jerusalem, then know that its destruction has drawn near to it. Then those who are in Yehuda, let them flee to the mountains, and those who are within it, let them flee, and those in the villages, let them not enter into it. Because these are the days of vengeance, that might be fulfilled everything that is written. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing in those days, for there will be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people." And they will fall by the edge of the sword and be led away to every land. And Jerusalem will be trampled by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there will be signs in the sun and the moon and in the stars. And on earth distress of the nations and confusion from the roaring of the sound of the sea, and upheaval that cast out life from men because of fear of what is about to come upon the earth. And the powers of heaven will be shaken. And the footnote here says to go read Haggai 2:6, which says, "For thus says the Lord of hosts, once more, it is a little while, I will shake heaven and earth, the sea and the dry land, and I will shake all nations, and they shall come to the desire of all nations. And I will fill this temple with glory, says the Lord of hosts." The footnote also says to go to verse 21, which says, "Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake heaven and earth. I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms. I will destroy the strength of the Gentile kingdoms. I will overthrow the chariots and those who ride in them. The horses and their riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother." Continuing verse 27, it says, "And then they will see the Son of Man who will come in the clouds with much power and great glory." Here, the footnotes say to go read Daniel 7, verses 13 and 14. That says, "I was watching in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. Then to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which will not pass away, and his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed." Verse 28, "But when these things begin to happen, have courage and lift up your heads, because your salvation draws near." And he was speaking a parable to them. "Look at the fig tree and all the trees. When they bud, you understand immediately from them that summer draws near. Likewise also, when you see these things happening, know that the kingdom of Elohim is near. Truly I say to you that this tribe will not pass away until all these things occur." The footnotes for tribes say it's typically translated as generation, but they say it is the Israel of Elohim, the household of faith, who is the tribe that would not pass away, but bear witness until the end of time. Verse 33, "Heaven and earth will pass away, yet my words will not pass away. But beware in yourselves that your hearts never become heavy by extravagance and by drunkenness and by distress of the world, and that day should come suddenly upon you. For like a snare it will entrap all those who dwell upon the face of the earth. Therefore be watchful at all times, and pray that you are worthy to escape from these things that are about to happen, and that you stand before the Son of Man." And during the day he would teach in the temple, and during the night he would go out and lodge in the mountain that is called the House of Olives. And all the people were coming early to him at the temple to hear his word.